All right, y'all. We back on the Black Church PAC bus. We in Savannah today, though, with our brother Cliff Albright of Black Voters Matter. These are two buses coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Cliff Albright, what's happening, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, it's good to see you. It's always good to talk to you, Mark.
It's good to see you too, brother. We had Sister Latasha on the other day, and now we got you. We thankful for that, brother, and glad you doing your thing. And down there with it. How's it looking down there in Savannah? Y'all at the early voting site, right?
We're not exactly at an early voting site. We're actually at a church, but we're not too far from an early vote site. And we have some vans here so that as we're doing our food and toy giveaway, that if we come across folks that need a ride to the polls, we got the rides to the polls for them so that they can go early vote. But what we're doing right now is we're doing a food and toy. It's a, as we always say, it's a party with a purpose. It's a holiday food. We got collard greens and side items and dressing and macaroni and cheese, toys for the kids. But in every bag, they're getting flyers with voting information, their early vote locations, what the process is, links so that they know what the issues are and who the candidates are. So again, it's spreading love and building power at the same time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what's up, and glad you're there. Now we're hearing reports of some funny business with some of these early votes because our people are showing up. I want to hear what you got to share, Cliff, but I'm going to add our brother to this too, who's working with Woke Vote, our brother Jeremiah Chapman. Brother Jeremiah, how you, man?
Man, I'm just trying to get it done, man. I'm just trying to make sure black folks can actually vote, and they balance the casted and not contested. Casted and not contested. That's what I'm going with.
Casted and not contested. You on here with Cliff Albright of Black Voters Matter. Yep. So we all together want to hear about this. Now, Cliff, as I was saying to you, Jeremiah reached out to me a little while ago. What's going on? Let's start in Muskogee County. That's Columbus, right?
Yes,
right.
Georgia, Fort Benning. What's going on in Muskogee County?
So here, as of December 16th, the Muskogee County Board of Elections is contesting 4,000 ballots. And so they're not telling folks exactly, who those 4,000 people are. We suspect that those are largely black voters, as we've seen a great deal of black voters turn out during early vote. So for context, the first day of early vote during the general election, there were roughly reported about 1,200 people that voted in Muskogee County during the general election. Now, during this runoff election, we saw a vast increase of about 3,900 folks, roughly 4,000 folks voted just the first day of early vote alone. And so it wasn't soon after that. The first day of early vote was the 14th. And then on the 16th is when we received word that there's an emergency. They held an emergency meeting on the 16th. And now there are some questions as to whether that meeting is legal, as they have to give usually 24 hours notice per the Georgia's rules and how they conduct meetings and announcing those things to the public. So we're trying to figure out exactly who those folks are and then how the Board of Elections plans to reach out to those folks to let them know that their ballots are being contested. So just some major questions there and some major pitfalls because folks can easily fall through the crack. As you all know, we have two holidays in between now and the election, being Christmas and New Year's. Mm-hmm. And so after further digging, and this isn't what the Board of Elections told me, what I eventually found on the local news report is that they plan to send letters, right, snail mail. And so as opposed to calling or canvassing the area or getting out there physically or as I mentioned, trying to digitally get a hold of these folks, as we know it's a pandemic, so that's what we're pretty much dealing with and trying to figure out who those folks are. Because if we do need to let those folks know that they have a letter coming their way, they're going to have to get it back in crack time. So it's really troubling to see that happen here, and we're just kind of trying to fight through it right now.
Yeah. Now, Cliff, you and I were just talking earlier. There's some other stuff going on, and you mentioned Cobb, I think.
Yeah, it's Cobb County. Yeah, it's Cobb County, Clark County, which is where Athens is. All of these, of course, urban areas that went blue that usually go blue in this state. And so yeah, it's just more of the same stuff, right? It's addresses and voters that are being challenged. And as Jeremiah says, we don't have the technical details on who these voters are and what the demographics are. But you and all three of us on this call, we know what the likely situation is, right? If you're talking about votes being challenged, you're talking about folks. Maybe if there's any validity to it, which there may be absolutely none, but if there's anything, you're talking about, usually folks that are more mobile, the addresses change, things of that nature. And we know that they're targeting these things to our communities, the same way that they're in Cobb County, that they were targeting the closing of polling places in our community. So it's very clear what's happening. Muskoge's calling an emergency meeting for the Board of Elections. And the bottom line is we are the emergency. Right? Our power is the emergency. The fact that we flipped this state is the emergency. Like, that's what has them going through all these shenanigans. People were confused when Raffensperger and some of these Secretary of State and election officials, said that they wouldn't cheat quite as much as Trump wanted them to cheat. What some people lost sight of is they're still cheaters, right? They're still voter suppressors, right? The same day that they were saying that, whoa, we're not going to go as far as Trump wants us to go, that same day, they were announcing investigations into 4 voting rights, voting access organizations, including our dear friends, New Georgia Project, and other organizations that we work with, right? So we need to be clear about what it is that we're dealing with. And it's at the state level, it's at the county level, it's at the local level, and all of it is in response to what Jeremiah was saying. We are seeing record turnout. I am telling you, Mark, we are about to see something in this state that you almost never see. I believe that we are going to have larger turnout in a runoff, a senatorial runoff, in January, in the code, right? In the middle of the holidays, Black folks are showing out. We are breaking records in this first week of early vote, and I am convinced that we're going to see the same thing continue between now and January 5th. That's the emergency that they're afraid of.
Cliff Albright is on the Black Church PAC bus, as a matter of fact. So I'm pulling up some of these numbers. I'm on GeorgiaVotes.com. And so far, over 14,000 people have voted in Muskogee. About 2,000 mail votes and about 12,000 early in-person votes. Now watch this. According to Muskogee, according to GeorgiaVotes.com, 7,836 African-American votes, 5,294 white votes. You're talking about 4,000, Jeremiah. So we can probably guess whose votes these are. I'm looking at Cobb too. Interesting. Cobb has more mail than in person. So 57,391 mail-in votes. Cliff, 28,372 early in-person votes. And actually we have about, according to GeorgiaVotes.com, we have about 50,000 white, 23,000 black. That's in Cobb. What number did you say they were messing with in Cobb, Cliff? Was there a number on that? How many votes?
The last I heard was that it's close to 39,000. I'm trying to 30,000. I'm trying to confirm that because I've been seeing a couple of different numbers, and it may depend on the day because they've been at this now for a couple of weeks. The first numbers we heard, I think, was a couple of days ago, was 16, but I think that number's now gone up. And that's part of the funny math that they do. They're always trying to give the impression that there's more, just like the Secretary of State at one point, they were saying that they were investigating for, I think it was like 4,000 or 2,000 cases of votes that they were investigating. And that number kept going down because at the end of the day, all these investigations that they do are just frivolous, right? They're just made up. It's the same as Trump acting like he won the election. And so the numbers, sometimes fluctuate, but the last I heard was something like 30,000 in Cobb County. And think about those Muskogee numbers that you gave, and the proportion of the black-white votes that you gave. That proportion is stunning, Mark. Muskogee is not a majority black county. But you look at those numbers that you just shared in terms of the percentage of black votes, it's the same thing that we saw statewide on the first day when 41% of the votes that had come in were found to be from black folks, we're not 41% of the population in this state. Black folks are coming out, I am telling you, in huge numbers in this runoff election, which goes against all conventional wisdom.
You know, and we have you and Black Voters Matter to thank, along with fair. I mean, what you all have been doing in terms, you already flipped Georgia blue for the presidential, so y'all doing it again. Cliff, are you doing anything differently from the way you did in November, because this is a special election and this is traditionally harder to get people out? Are you doing, is Black Voters Matter taking any unique or extraordinary approach to the special election get out the vote strategy?
Well, not really, and I really want to lift up, and I thank you. I really want to lift up just the nature of the coalition it's taken to make this state flip. You know, it's taken. You know, a lot of people, of course, have given Stacey Abrams and New Georgia Project, you know, much respect for the numbers of folks that they've registered over the past 10 years. You know, Woke Folk. We had folks from Woke Folk that were with us the other night in Albany as we were doing our food and toy distribution that we were doing there. I mean, it's a real coalition just across the board. Including, you know, our folks in the Asian American communities, which saw a big increase, the Latinx community, Gente, and Latino community funds. So I really want to acknowledge just the nature of this coalition. But yeah, you know, we know that we've done a little something in that too, and fundamentally, we're not changing our main approach. I think we're doing these food distribution programs more than what we've done in the past, because it's the holiday season. And because folks have gone through hell in 2020, because we know there are folks right now that don't know if they can have food on their tables for the holidays or toys for the kids. And so that's why we wanted to do these events, to be able to show that love, even as we're building power. So that's about the only thing that's a little bit different. But even that's a continuation of the strategy that we do all throughout the year, because we're always doing this combination of spreading love, providing service for our folks, supporting local organizations that are providing service. Because right now we're doing this program where we are in Savannah at a church, right? So partnering with those groups that support, serve, and organize our communities on a regular basis, 365 days out of the year. So there's really nothing much different than what we do throughout the year. We're also probably going to go a little bit bigger. We're really excited. We got a partnership with a couple of folks that are doing some digital content for us that we're going to be putting out within the next couple of days. We're about to do about $1 million ad buy. That's radio and digital. So there's some little pieces like that we're going a little bit deeper on. But fundamentally, it's been the same strategy. Get as many people to early vote. Get as many people who didn't early vote. Get as many people to vote by mail as possible. To then get as many people as possible to early vote. To then get, whoever doesn't early vote, get them out on election day on January 5th. That's the fundamental strategy, and we're sticking with it. It worked in November. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. That's right. No, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what we got to do. And yes, of course, Woke Vote is there. Jeremiah, our brother, done left the West Coast. He was out there in fun and sun. Come down to Georgia. And what else besides white folks voter suppression meetings and confronting white folks? What else is Woke Vote doing down there in Georgia?
So we are, you know, we're doing the traditional things as Cliff said. You know, we're knocking doors. Woke Vote across the state to date has knocked. It may have went up, but as of last night, we've knocked 10,300 doors in a matter of just several days. And so, you know, the work that we're doing, we've also made about 95,000 phone calls into the state as well. And so, you know, we're continuing those efforts. We've got crews out right now. Today, I'll give you a stat. Today is breaking news. No one knows this, but as of today, right now, there's about, let me just double check this. There are about 449 doors that have been knocked today in Muskogee County by our team. So shout out to them. If I know they're not watching this because they're hard at work. But you know, and these are folks that are local. And so yes, you know, I came from California, but we made sure that we hired folks here locally from the community. We're partnering with Second Chance Transition Center, which is a center that works with at-risk youth ages 18 to 24, roughly. So about I would say over half of our staff are young Black people that have never done this type of work before. And so that is huge, and that is so important, because what that does is it creates that pipeline of organizers that are experienced. So the next time around a campaign comes around, or the next time someone needs to run for office, that infrastructure is built. And so shout out to the work that we're doing, but certainly shout out to the work that Cliff and Black Voters Matter are doing, and that coalition that he's talking about, because we're certainly running into folks when we're knocking doors that are, a part of these organizations. And so there's good oversaturation there. But what we're seeing is, and this is the unique thing about Columbus, is that, although it may not, Cliff made a great point, although it may not be a majority Black city, town, or county, if we're looking at Muskogee County as a whole, there are some of the Blackest precincts that I've seen. I've done this work all across the country. There are some precincts here that are upwards of 89, 90% Black, right? And these are several, right? And so these are often places that people just aren't talked to by any party, by either one, right? Or either major party, I'll say, because we won't get into all the other divisions of folks, but yeah, no, this is prime real estate, I would say, or prime turf, as we say in the organizing world. If you look at it, it's very dense in terms of what we see, and so we're just going to continue to turn folks out, and our strategy has been focusing on. What we've been doing is we've been focusing our efforts on the Blackest precincts, basically around the early voting location here, which is the City Services Center. And so we think that has a great deal to do with, this large turnout. So even before we got to early voting, our team had knocked about 1,500 doors just within the vicinity of the Citizens Services Center strategically, right? And so even what we're doing, not just simply on the ground, but also digitally. Last night we had a Black Youth Visionary Forum with the students. The students are out of school right now, so we had to figure out a creative way, to get in roads with them. And so we had a call with the Collegiate 100, the National Council of Negro Women. There's also the Black Student Alliance, which is born out of this whole recent George Floyd, Breonna Taylor moment that we have right now. And those students are fired up, and that's what we're seeing as well, is that a lot of these students, a lot of these young people, this recent summer that they just experienced has radicalized them, and so you're starting to see them more involved. And so again, I think that's why we're seeing young people literally under the age of 23 as a part of our team that are making a huge impact in this election.
Yeah, no, that's very important. So listen, Jeremiah, keep us posted on that. And Cliff, as you are on your conference calls, you got my text now, you got my number now, I think. So keep me posted, because what I'm going to do, you all keep me posted on what's happening. I'm going to share with Joy Reid and others, because we need to get that word out everywhere, is not just here, but everywhere, on every outlet we can, about the funny business that's going on down there with our people. So if you brothers could do that and keep me posted, I'd appreciate it. Jeremiah, we thank you, brother, and glad you down there. Let's stay in close touch. All right, brother. Thank you, man. Jeremiah Chapman with Woke Vote, y'all. And we also have with us here our brother Cliff. Cliff, I want to thank you too again, folks. Black Voters Matter has been doing so much. Cliff, you driving the bus too, aren't you?
In the cartoon, I'm driving the bus. In real life, I don't think you want me.
Oh, you're there? Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah. But but the other piece on this funny business voter suppression is, we had an attempt. We were trying to meet with the Secretary of State's office. I don't know. You may recall that we are actually suing the Secretary of State's office right now, not for purges that they did this year, but for purges that they did last year. Out of 300,000 voters that were purged last year when they did a similar type of list maintenance that they're trying to do now, 200,000 of those were purged allegedly because they had changed address, when in fact they had not changed their address. And how do we know that? Because we went to the real vendor that was supposed to be used, the vendor that the Postal Service uses to verify addresses. That's the only vendor that was supposed to be used when the Secretary of State does a list maintenance like this. They didn't use that vendor. Right? So they used the wrong vendor, which in and of itself is illegal. And then they purged voters off of that bad information. We sent out 100,000 postcards to some of those voters. Out of those 100,000, we got about 400 back, which means that the vast majority, 99% of those, actually went through to the addresses that we had when we used the official vendor. So again, there were at least 200,000 folks who they said change addresses when in fact they did not change address. We're suing them right now to get the court to tell them that they need to go ahead. Don't force those folks to have to get re-registered. They should have been purged to begin with. Just go on and automatically restore them. So that's the kind of battle that we're fighting. And this stuff we're talking about today, Muskogee, Cobb, Clark County, that's a continuation of a strategy that they know works, because that's how they stole the election in 2018 in the governor's race. They're trying to do it all over again.
Where, at what stage are we in that suit right now, your lawsuit against Secretary of State?
Yeah, we're essentially at the final stages. The judge basically asked us, or requested that we meet with the Secretary of State to try to figure it out. I really feel that that's partially out of a desire to not have the state look as bad as it really looks. And so Latasha actually went there today to try to get that meeting. We're still waiting to hear what the results of that meeting's going to be, or if that meeting's even going to take place, because essentially the state really hasn't wanted to have anything to do with it, because there's no wiggle room for them. They did something that they weren't supposed to do.
And so where would the relief be? Those that would purge would be immediately reinstated in time for January 5th?
That's our demand, that they get immediately restored. Now, some of them may have been, because again, this was a 2019 purge. Since then, we've had the primary, we had the general. There's been a great effort statewide to reach out to people who either need to get re-registered or registered for the first time. And so some of those people may have in fact already been re-registered, but some of them no doubt didn't. Because again, if you're somebody who's already skeptical of this system and then you go getting purged when you should have been purged, there may be some people that are like, you know what, I'm through with it, right? So we don't want them to have to go through any extra labor to try to get themselves back on the rolls. We want the state to automatically reinstate them. That bucket of voters right there could be the difference. We're talking about an election that had to go through 3 recounts over 11,000, 12,000, whatever votes. The fact of the matter is this presidential election, never should have been close. These Senate races never should have been close. If not for the illegal purging going on in this state, which again, we're seeing continuing, or attempts continuing right now as we speak. If not for the suppression, it wouldn't even be a matter of, wow, Georgia went blue. This should be an ordinary thing, because these elections should not be close, and they know it shouldn't be close. That's why they're cheating so much.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Listen, glad you're on top of that. And again, Black Voters Matter suing the Secretary of State. So they're doing what they need to do. Cliff Albright with Black Voters Matter on the Black Church PAC bus. Brother, thank you for this. Thank you for being here with us. And as always, my brother, thank you for everything you do, man. You and Latasha and the whole Black Voters Matter team. All right.
We say it all the time, Mark. Back in 2018 when we did the very first bus tour, it was during that primary, and it was the Gillum primary, and we were hitting Georgia and Mississippi and Florida. Our very first bus tour, you were the first one to let us get on. You put us on every morning for, I think, a week straight. And so we really love that you have always been there, not just for us as an organization, but for our entire community. And so thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, Cliff. I'm your man, 100 grand. So you can count on that. All right, my brother.
All right, man.
All right. So we will see you. I think Brother Osar has another passer. Well, hold it though, Cliff, before you go. We got somebody else joining us now. Let me see who this is. This is Attorney Teddy Reese.
Yes, sir.
You there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. How y'all doing today?
Fine. How you doing, my brother?
Glad to
have you. So, brother, tell us, are you involved in one of these cases or what?
Well, I'm here in Columbus, Georgia, and this is where the Republican Party today challenged over 4,000 voters that are currently on the roll. And I tell you, it just appears that deranged Republican leadership all the way up and down the level, state, federal, and local, are just following Trump's lead on this, when the whole country knows that he lost this election. I mean, it's not even close. But brothers, what's particularly sad about the challenge here in Columbus, Georgia, is they don't even know the political affiliation of the 4,000 voters. They could really be throwing out Republican voters. They don't even know at this point. And to say that the address is out of state. You think about, we're a big military town. Columbus, Georgia is right here by Fort Benning, Georgia, and we are proud of that because our men and women in uniform, even here locally, suit up to go and protect everyone in this country, even those in the Republican Party who claims to be so patriotic and love this country so much, yet they are attacking their own people. When they leave here, they still consider Columbus, Georgia, their home, but they go all around the world to serve everyone. And it's like we are attacking them, saying, you got to confirm your address in the middle of the game. The election has started. We're in a runoff, and now you want to move the goalposts. And it's just so unfair, and it's in line with the totally ridiculous tactics that we have seen coming out of the Republican Party now ever since Trump lost on November 3rd.
Right. And people have gotten it confused too. Some people think that because Kemp and the Secretary of State wouldn't overturn the presidential election for Trump, some people think that now Kemp and the Secretary of State are friends, but they're not. They still not.
The fact of the matter is they both trying to save themselves because in 2 years they're up for re-election. And we're hoping to see a Democratic governor of Georgia in 2022. So where they couldn't openly steal an election in the state of Georgia for Donald Trump, now they're doing these other tactics in hope that they find themselves in favor again of their master, Donald Trump, and that he will come and help them save their gubernatorial race and that Secretary of State race. Yeah.
So we need to watch it. So are you a voter in Muskegon County yourself?
Muskegon County. Yes, I live here. Yes, I live here in Muskegon County, and I'm a registered voter here in Muskegon County. Been a registered voter here almost 10 years. And we also have college students, Reverend Mark, who they graduate from one of our amazing high schools here, and they go out of state to college, but they still consider Georgia their home. And they keep their driver license, and all of their main mail still go to their homes. These are people that they're challenging because they simply request that their ballot be mailed to them somewhere in another state. There's nothing that states that because you are temporarily somewhere else that you have to change your residency nor change your voter registration. That's nowhere on the Georgia voter law books. And the attorneys here locally, we're not going to stand for that. Not only are you attacking democracy, but you're attacking the legacy and the history of all of our civil rights members who fought right here. Reverend Mark, were you aware that this is the home of Primus King, who sued the Democratic Party so that African Americans could vote in a Democratic primary? And thanks to a man by the name of Dr. Thomas Brewer, who was the first Black doctor here in Columbus, Georgia, he funded that the lawsuits for Primus King to give us that opportunity. You picked the wrong place to pick this kind of fight because we are rich in history and standing up for people to be able to cast their opinions at the poll. Your vote count just like mine per the United States Constitution. One person, one vote. And we're not going to take a vote from anyone just because they don't like the color of their skin.
So what legal options are you and other attorneys looking at in Muskogee?
Well, at this point here, the Board of Elections have basically they've been ordered to send out about 4,000 letters in the middle of an election. Send out about 4,000 letters to these individuals to have them to verify their address, their residency. Now, think about this. If you can do this in the middle of an election, what stops them from just ordering this same thing for just Democratic voters in general in any election to throw the election off process? At some point, when the gate is closed, the gate should be closed. And once we start an election, you shouldn't allow people to come in mid-game to try to change the rules. These people voted in the general. These people voted in the primaries. No one had any problems. Now, the crybaby in the White House want to claim that we have election fraud. And now every Republican seems to be concerned about this fake election fraud that they're making up to try to make this an issue. So we're going to monitor it. And anybody who may find themselves in a position where their vote is disenfranchised, we're going to fight for them.
Yeah. No, that's good. Well, my brother, keep us posted about this and what you're doing, please, sir, because we want people to remain apprised of this, and we want people to know that this is still a fight we're gonna be in, and we're gonna stay in this fight, as a matter of fact. And I appreciate your energy and your spirit. This was going on in Georgia. They are, as Brother Cliff said, they having this emergency meeting. The emergency attorney, Teddy Reese, is we voting, and we might flip the Senate. That's the emergency.
Right.
We got to stop niggas from voting. That's what the emergency is. Okay. And so we ain't no confusion about that. So, brother, keep us posted. And we're gonna have you back as this story develops. Okay.
Yes, sir. You guys continue to do what you're doing. We appreciate it, and we love everything that you're doing, and we got to continue to stand up and fight for each other. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. We with you, brother, all over the country. We will help you. We are with Georgia. So just let us know, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Bless you now. Take care.
All right. Mm-hmm.
All right. Down talking about Muskogee, talking about Clark, talking about Cobb, where they messing with the vote. We're back on the Black Church PAC bus, ladies and gentlemen. And joining us now is Bishop Thomas J. Sills of Connors Temple Baptist Church. Bishop, how you doing, doctor? Well, let's get your mic on. There you go. Here we go. I got you now. There you go. How you doing, doctor?
Man, all is well.
Right. Now, wait a minute. Is the church at your is the bus at your church right now?
The bus is at our lot across from our church where we have our drive-in service
every Sunday morning. Because I was listening to some of the music outside. Is that church music they playing?
No, that's not church music. But listen, here's a disclaimer. It's not the church playing the music. I'm just
messing with you. Listen, man.
Yes, sir.
At one of the marches on Washington a few years ago, George Clinton and Parliament performed. So when I introduced him, there was a whole section of preachers, esteemed preachers, folk you and I know. I said, so before I bring on George Clinton, we should escort the preachers off stage, because they're not supposed to hear this. Them preachers ate me up, said, we ain't going nowhere. We gonna hear George Clinton.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
So, brother, well, thank you for having the Black Church PAC bus there and having us there. So did I hear you say you all have drive-in service on Sunday?
Ever since the first Sunday in April, we have an 1,100 square foot stage outside where people can drive in every Sunday morning. We see about 100 or so cars. So we're having a good time, even in the middle of this pandemic.
Man, I like that, because everybody else is doing virtual. That's creative. I like that a lot.
We do that too. I mean, you can still watch us on the social media outlets.
Wow.
But we're on the property.
That's all right, brother. Well, congratulations on that as well. How's your congregation feeling about voting again for the special election and getting out to vote? Are members of your congregation very active?
Most definitely. We held a voter registration drive. We also had a day during the general election, which was actually my birthday, during the early voting, where we as a church went to vote together. And we're pushing that same thing this early voting. So we're really trying to get our people out, because it's mandatory. We flipped Georgia blue. We got to keep it blue.
Got to keep it blue. So you, on your birthday, when was your birthday?
October 21st.
Okay, so you did it on the early piece. So you have
we did the early voting.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And now just to be clear, we're in Savannah, right?
Right. Savannah, Georgia.
What county is Savannah?
Chatham County.
Chatham County. So how did Chatham County itself go blue?
Chatham County, it really showed up in a wonderful way. And here in Chatham County, we're traditionally blue anyway.
Okay.
But they really, really showed out this last election. And the numbers that I'm hearing so far, we're even doing awesome in this runoff and even this early voting. So it's looking very promising.
Yeah, we're hearing those reports, and I think that's why they're trying to figure out how we stop this.
Yeah,
turn it out.
Exactly.
And Republicans are so messed up and confused.
Yeah,
half the Republicans are telling Republicans not to vote.
Yeah.
He can't make up his mind whether he wants people to vote or be mad at the party.
Exactly.
So to take full advantage of this, brothers. I've asked all the preachers who are here with us because, some folk think we just supposed to go to church, and that's it, and do something, and not pray with our feet, not get involved, not mobilize in this way. As a preacher and teacher yourself, what do you say to people who say that? What is it that you say in terms of the gospel you preach that empowers your congregation and the people of Chatham County to get into it and get involved?
Well, here's what we need to understand, that the spiritual affects the natural. And so when we encourage our people, I want you to grow spiritually, but we have an obligation naturally to make sure that we do what we need to be done. And especially in the time in which we live, you know as well as I know, traditionally the church had a major voice in politics. I believe that time is coming back, and we're doing what we can do to make sure that we're not just shouting, we're making a difference.
Yeah. And as I've said to people, I mean, we have to be clear.
Yeah.
When our first churches were organized in the hush harbors just off the plantation,
yeah,
they were political, and that those services were about plotting our escape.
That's
and
right.
Even from the plantation was a political act. So ain't never been no black church that hasn't been political.
That's
and
right.
Running around trying not to be and pretending they not. I don't know what they're thinking about. But even in this hour, if you don't realize now that this pandemic is killing us, this police demic is killing us, we got to get out and vote. And now they're going to have we need to have a poll demic right here, right now in Georgia, leading up to January 5th and on January 5th itself. So, Brother Bishop Sills, we thank you for being here with us, and we thank you for the work you're doing. I hope to come down myself and visit you sometimes, my brother.
Yes, sir. Do it. And whatever we can do to help in this movement, we're dedicated to get that done.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Bishop Sells.
Bless you, sir.
Much love to you and the congregation.
You too, my brother.
And happy holidays to you.
Same to you.
All right. We're down on the Black Church PAC bus with our brother Osahar, Pastor Barry. He's sending people up to the mic to holler at us. And I think now, here we go. There we go, brother Pastor Barry. I still call him Osahar.
They call me Osahar. That's fine. Hey, man, we have an exciting event tonight.
He going to use that during Kwanzaa, I guess.
Yes. We have an exciting event tonight, man. We got together barbers throughout the state of Georgia for a conversation with comedian Rodney Perry, and I have Barber Dewan here from Savannah, man, and I'd love to bring him on and talk to you about the program. It's airing tonight at 7 o'clock on, where's it going to be on? It's going to be on YouTube at Squad Up Homecoming. It's an exciting. Can I bring him on?
Yeah, please.
Oh, I'm bringing him on.
Bring him on.
Here he comes, man. They had a dynamite conversation with these barbers. Well, what's really, the barbershop is where the real conversations take place.
That's right.
And so we got the barbers together to hear about what's really going on in the community from how the brothers are feeling. So here's the one.
Okay, please. Yes. Hey, brother.
What's going on, man?
Untrammeled. What's going on, Doctor?
Man, that's chilling, man. Happy to be alive, man. It's a great day.
So you're at the Cut Barbershop in Savannah, right?
That's right.
Okay. And so now I'm looking at your hair, brother. Your hair like mine. You and I ain't been to the barbershop.
Look, man, I'm too busy cutting hair. I ain't got enough time for mine, That's why the beard looking like this too.
I ain't been to barbershop in almost 30 years. But that's still where we gather and we talk as men and get organized, right?
That's right.
So at the Cut, do you all have a lot of political discussions amongst your clientele, amongst the brothers at the Cut?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's a little this, a little that, but we do cross it every now and then.
Yeah. Right. And so brothers are engaged in the conversation about the election, right? And everybody's seeing the importance early voting and getting out the vote, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's important. I'm glad you all doing that. And folks, tonight there's going to be an event where you're going to have comedian Rodney Perry, and he's hosting some of the barbers. These are the Barbershop Chronicles. So
Right,
this will be an opportunity ahead. How long you been in business, brother?
Oh, I've been in business. I've owned the shop for 6 years now.
Okay, and how's business going?
Man, it's going good. Finally, since everything lifted, as far as all the restrictions that coronavirus brought, but it's doing good now.
Okay, so you back fully open now. People just wearing masks and whatnot.
But yeah, people wearing masks, hand sanitizer. We gotta have all that.
Okay.
Every time someone comes.
So I'm curious, since you got locks like me in your barbershop, what about the brothers with locks? Do you have somebody to do lock maintenance also in your barbershop?
Yeah, I got one. No, actually, I got two.
Yeah,
Yep.
No, it's good, because that's where it's at. Brother, get a cut, get the locks maintenance if that's what they want. That's full service, isn't it?
Look, I ain't trying to let the money leave out the door.
Where you from, brother? Is Savannah your home?
Originally, I'm from Texas. I've been in Savannah about 14 years.
Okay, my brother.
Yeah.
Well, brother, look, we appreciate you. Glad you doing what you're doing as well, and having these conversations in your shop, and mobilizing people, brother, and keeping it real, having productive conversations. We don't always need to talk about sports all the time, y'all. I love talking about sports too, but I'm telling you something right now. We don't talk about no sports in Georgia between now and January 5th. We go back to sports January 5th. But one thing to talk about in Georgia for the next couple of weeks, and that's this runoff. So that's important. Brother Dewan, nice to meet you, brother. Thank you for joining us, man.
Man, I appreciate you, man.
All right. Thank you, brother. And
Yes,
folks, we're on this Black Church PAC bus. We're going to get brother Osahar back in here and give us an update about what's going on tonight. Again, this Barbershop Chronicles is taking place tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Osahar, where can people see it? But yeah, is Osahar right there? Osahar, where's the where can people see the Barbershop Chronicles? We're gonna get him back on here to tell us. Let us know, brother, where we can see the Barbershop Chronicles, so people can say that again. If you have loved ones in Georgia, or even friends, relatives, whatever it is, children, cousins, aunts, uncles, parents, grandparents, be sure that they are aware that this is going on, and make sure they're aware of the importance of getting out to vote and telling their loved ones right there beside them in Georgia to get out there and do that as well. That's what we want you to do. All roads lead to the polls in Georgia. Oath, before we go, man, any final instruction? Where can people see the Barbershop Chronicles tonight?
That's going to be on Squad Up Homecoming tonight on YouTube, and we're also having a Black Church PAC as well. Black Church PAC on YouTube. It's going to be on fire. It's going to be uplifting, but Rodney going to keep it entertaining as well at the same time.
All right, brother.
Squad Up Homecoming on YouTube.
In Savannah today, where's the bus going to be tomorrow?
Remember, tomorrow, it's Saturday. We're going to be at E. Dewey Smith's church over there in Decatur. Hope, Atlanta. Really looking forward to that tomorrow. They're giving away toys and food and the like at 12 o'clock in Decatur. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be explosive. I was away because I was on the phone, because Sunday we're going to be at Dream Center. There is Bishop William is going. It's going to be. They're giving away. They're expecting 2,000 people tomorrow. They're giving away 2 brand new cars. That starts at 4 o'clock in Decatur. You want come get you a car. They give away 2 cars. That's right, 2 brand new cars. Yes.
They're giving away the cars tomorrow or Sunday?
They're giving away Sunday at the Dream Center in Decatur, Dream Center Church in Decatur. They're giving away toys, food. We're giving toys, food, and they're giving away 2 cars.
Wow.
On Sunday.
Okay. Can people early vote on Sunday too?
Yes, you can only vote on Sunday in Georgia. I think about North Carolina. You can only vote on Sunday in Georgia.
Right. Brother, we thank you. Thank you for this update. Thank you for having everybody on here with us, Doctor.
Man, it's been explosive, man. Thank you so very much for tuning in with us and follow us. Go to our website, blackchurchpac.org. Follow what we're doing here in Georgia. We're working hard to get the vote out. We're going city to city, hamlet to hamlet, county to county. Everywhere's a new day. We're going all the way to December 24th. We're going to take a little break to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus. And we get right back on the 27th. And we're working with New Georgia Project with a number of, we'll have some concerts after Christmas. We'll have these speakers, these preachers on God, and do some talks and conversations. It's going to be something to bear witness of as we encourage people to go out and vote and take these seats.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Osahar. We'll talk with you again over the weekend.
Yes, sir. Blessings to you.
Brother. Bless you. Thank you.